Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Stacker News Live. I'm here with my BFF this week in Austin, Texas. Keyan, did you survive the winter storm?
I did survive the winter storm. Was that this week?
Was that last week?
I think it was last week.
Was it last week? We didn't talk about it though, did we?
I don't know. I mean, people text me about it this week, so maybe it was this week.
It's probably people's electricity is probably finally on. It's probably what it is.
No, it was actually warm last week. Anyway, my mom, who's our only listener, probably doesn't care about the weather here.
Wait, your mom listens to the show now?
No, she doesn't.
Oh, wow. I was like, man, that's pretty awesome. She listens to the show.
She doesn't listen to the show. How was your week, Car?
Oh, man, dude, it's crazy. Getting Sats by ready. It's a lot of work, man, putting on a hackathon. People think it's just easy. Yeah, there's a lot of work behind the scenes.
Yeah, to make a good one. What are you most excited about for the hackathon?
I think right now I'm excited about how many people who I don't know who have signed up. We kind of got like retweeted by this like Austin, San Antonio like Twitter thing, and like now they're like kind of popping off. So yeah, I'm interested in seeing all the devs, probably from Web3, honestly.
Yeah, maybe the ordinal thing has gotten some Web3 people excited.
Probably. We don't have a Project Ordinals on there.
You might want to add one if you really want to fill up the space with people who like pineapple on their pizzas.
No, I'm really excited because we have like 61. I think we're over 60 now. So, and we're still over a month and a half away. That's pretty amazing. So I think this might be the biggest hackathon yet.
Dude, you think we can get it to 100 people?
I think easily 100 people. I think easily 100 people for sure. And then they're all devs. That's what's cool. So. Yeah, man. We're doing it. That's what my week's been like.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
All right.
Should we talk about the Stackers Week?
Let's get into the top 5 stories of the week on Stacker News Live. Our first one is of regrets. This is 10,000 sats, 22 comments from Cointastical.
Yeah. Did you see this?
Yes. You told me about it the other day. You were like really concerned in the library room.
Yeah. It is. So
why is this concerning?
So, basically what happened is CSW is suing the Bitcoin's core developers for not transferring him the Bitcoin he lost in the Mt. Gox hack. So he said he's basically claiming in the courts of Great Britain that it's the Bitcoin core developers' responsibility to give him funds that got lost in the Bitcoin hack. And and the biggest problem with this is that it basically makes if the courts decide that he is owed that money by Bitcoin core developers, it basically invalidates nearly every open source license.
Okay, I'm speaking for the plebs here. What does that mean in English? Because he's not Satoshi, right? So why does he think he has precedence in asking for
this particular claim has nothing to do with him claiming to be Satoshi.
Okay.
It's merely he's saying that Bitcoin core developers are liable for money that he lost using Bitcoin. That's what.
Oh my God. So he's trying to say it's like
he's trying to say it's like they're in control. They have the power to give him his money back, and they're not doing it. They could change the code and force the network to give him his money back.
Dang.
Yeah. And so if you're familiar with open source licenses, nearly all of them have a clause in it specifically designed to eliminate the possibility of this type of suit.
It's MIT license, right? Is this?
Bitcoin Core's license is MIT license, a very common, like one of the most permissive licenses out there, but it has this clause in it, like many of them do, like nearly all open source licenses do, that say, if you use this software, I am not liable for any kind of damages that you have as a result of using it.
So it falls under this then, right?
Yeah, but not it. It's possible. We have a lawyer who is a pretty regular stacker who came in and said different jurisdictions have different rules, and often courts do not allow rights to damages to be contracted away. And under common law tradition, a written document is typically strictly construed against the drafter of the document. So in other words, if it's a close call, the party who created the document loses. Of course, I'm speaking in generalities. So this is really bad. This is bad for open source software generally. This means that if CSW wins this suit, I mean, it means a lot of damages for the Bitcoin Core developers. It means that we'll probably send a lot of them underground. But more generally, this in the UK at least, open source software will cease to exist open in the clear. It will become an underground thing that you have to, like, I don't know, more or less pirate or get, somehow distribute anonymously, because you don't want to get sued like this over, software you're providing to someone for free.
I think at this point I'm realizing like he's funded by the WEF, bro. Like this,
you think so?
I mean, at this point, like, why is he doing this? Like, other than just like to kill Bitcoin.
Well, I mean, most people claim he's a sociopath and a narcissist, and so it's like it's more a psychological thing.
You saw what like Nick Carter posted, right, with the whole closing in on the banks and how they're coming, and like what happened to Kraken this week, and like all these things. Like, this is the part where they fight you.
I mean, if he wasn't such an idiot, I'd have an easier time believing that. I mean, but he seems to be genuinely deluded. Based on a long history of doing this kind of thing. So
I don't know, man. This is crazy. I don't know. What type of person are you to like... Gosh, that's crazy. Did anybody from Bitcoin Core comment? They probably can't, right? Like...
Well, the guy who wrote this, so we have to look at this on the way back machine, because he put his entire GitHub repo, or all of his GitHub private now. So even his blog isn't available anymore because he's probably just concerned around all types of liability, or he's just making a statement. But we did have Merch come in.
Merch came in?
Yeah, Merch came in.
Is he a Bitcoin Core developer?
He has contributed to Bitcoin Core. He contributed, I believe, quite a bit to coin selection in Bitcoin Core at one point in time.
What did Merch say?
I said, is this a reference to CSW lawsuit? He says yes. The lawsuit by CSW's company Tulip Trading against 15 Bitcoin and altcoin developers, which initially lost in a jurisdictional challenge, appears to be going to trial after success in an appeal. So
Greg Maxwell talked about it too, it looks like.
Yeah, Greg Maxwell had a big comment on Hacker News, and he kind of explains in detail what's going on. But
yeah,
I really hope that someone like the Electronic Frontier Foundation or GitHub shows up and helps defend these licenses. Certainly GitHub, because they basically wouldn't be able to.
Who's the judge that gave the appeal? That's the biggest question.
I would guess someone who doesn't even know how to use a computer is likely part of it.
It makes me want to investigate this.
But laws don't depend on reason. They depend on like precedent. They depend on like things that have already been decided in the past. So
I got a lawyer joke for you.
Okay.
A housewife, an accountant, and a lawyer were asked, how much is 2 + 2? The housewife replies 4. The accountant says, I think it's either 3 or 4. Let me run those numbers through my spreadsheet one more time. The lawyer pulls the drapes, dims the lights, and asks in a hushed voice, how much do you want it to be?
Wow.
There you go. It makes you really think, like, I mean, are we just looking at words here, like how they're interpreted, and like what can you like parse out of them and reinterpret them? Like it's a fugazi.
Yeah, it's really it's kind of disturbing to me. Stacker News' license is an MIT license.
They're coming after you next.
Yeah, is there a CSW out there who cares a lot about internet communities?
Gosh, dude. Yeah, this is not good. This is not good for anybody building on Bitcoin right now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's get into the next top story. That was huge, man. That's probably the story of the year.
I think it's a pretty big deal. I think I'm really hoping he'll lose. If he doesn't, I mean, I would just exit the UK in general. Like that would cause me to leave a country.
Man, this bear market just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. All right, we got Cowdle. Word guessing game meets Nostr. 21,000 cents. 18 comments. Ed block. It's a stacker. What is this, Keyan?
Yeah. Have you played Wordle before?
No, but I know you guys are super used to play it all the time.
Yeah. It's like a fun word guessing game, and you get it like kind of shows you what you get right over time. So it's kind of like crossword, but like a little one specific word. Anyway, someone built a Wordle bot on Nostr, and you can win Bitcoin prizes by winning it.
Dude, so many games being built on Bitcoin now, right?
Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin rewards make a lot of sense, I think, in this kind of context. And here's like
Cow Labs. I love it.
Here's David King playing it. You at Cowdle and you send them #game, and then a game starts, and then you can begin to play. I don't know how the layout exactly works. I haven't tried it yet, but you can see here there's a winner declared, and then there's like more winnings. But here's like the layout. So someone guessed candle, and then they got 2 of them right.
Yeah, it looks confusing as hell, but hey, it'll get better, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know. Pretty fun. Pretty cool to see this kind of stuff appearing on Nostr. You know, there's a lot of Twitter stuff like this. Natural to see them on Nostr as well. Yeah,
it would be cool to see a lot more games get built. I think somebody should spearhead that. That would be cool.
Yeah, I like text-based games.
Somebody should do an Oregon Trail, but like with Lightning. I'd play that.
Oh, that would be cool.
Or like Carmen Sandiego. Did you ever play that game? It was a show too, but
yeah, we should reach out to Thunder Games. Maybe they'd be interested in making a Oregon Trail.
Really cool. Oregon Trail would be amazing.
Yeah.
All right. The next top story is Lightning for everyone in any app. Lightning as a service with the Breeze SDK. This is 10,000 sats, 13 comments from K Rook.
Yeah, forwarded to Roy.
Oh, nice. Oh, is this another Roy banger of a Medium post?
It's another Roy banger.
This guy just he
hits them.
They're always so good.
Yeah, this one is a little bit different because he's talking kind of about a specific software library launch. It's an SDK to basically use some of the infrastructure that Breeze is building. So, if you remember, I think Breeze recently raised like $5 million. Because to move kind of transition into this Lightning infrastructure as a service, and so they've already made their first release. Very fast. Yeah, very fast to deliver. I think it's still in development, but you can tell they've already thought about it pretty thoroughly. But basically, it would allow anyone developing a Lightning app to give their users a non-custodial experience and using Blockstream's Greenlight service. Backed by Blockstream's Greenlight service, but provided through an SDK that Breeze provides you with. So if you're familiar with Blockstream Greenlight allows you to run a node hosted by Blockstream, but they don't actually hold the keys.
But doesn't Lightning Labs do the same thing? Don't they have their own Connect, like LND Connect? Is it the same thing?
No, it's not.
It's not. What's the difference?
So Blockstream runs these nodes for you.
Okay. And then LND Connect?
Or Lightning Node Connect is purely just a more simple way to connect to a node you might be running at home, and specifically one that's behind a NAT.
Okay.
Yeah. Something like a node that doesn't have a public IP address that you want to communicate with it to. It provides a turn relay.
Okay. Like
a kind of an intermediary node to talk through.
But this last product, that's a great name, by the way. This last product is going to be integration into Blockstream Greenlight then allows somebody, I don't know, maybe they're doing a hackathon, the project, and they want something to connect to right away. Is that different than Voltage, or is that how it?
It's a very different model than Voltage. It's kind of, so it would be like you sign up for a stacker. The way I imagine this is intended, and Breeze points to some use cases, or Roy points to some use cases down here. But like imagine you sign up for Stacker News, and rather than me giving you a custodial wallet, a term that Roy despises, rather than give you a custodial wallet, what I do is I spin up a node using Breeze SDK. I spin up a node on Blockstream Greenlight for you, and then you hold the keys for it, and that's basically. That's how. So your funds. I'm never in custody of your funds. You are, because you have the key that actually holds them.
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah, and then so every user has, the idea is for them to create a service that allows anyone who's creating a Lightning product to be able to provide their users with a non-custodial option.
Wow,
that's very minimal in term and make that, they're trying to make that UX great. So that
they already do podcasting so well, right? Like they already do so many things already great. They're just adding this to their. God, that's really cool, man.
Yeah, I think this is like the transition of their company. It says here, consider our podcast player a proof of concept. But imagine making a video narrative without episodes, just 4 or 12 hours long, and users pay by the second or minute they watch. Extrapolate to music, extrapolate to text content. He talks about likes in a social media context.
I need to get Roy on the pod, man. I need to pick his brain.
I hear he's like one of the smartest people in Bitcoin. This is what I've heard.
Man, yeah. Has Rook talked to him yet?
Probably.
Oh, okay. Maybe I can watch that.
Maybe not though. They might. He's from what I understand, he's like in Tel Aviv, so time zones might be tricky. But
yeah, I mean, he even talks about DLCs.
Yeah, I mean, he runs the whole gamut here with things that can be done. If you go to the GitHub page, they kind of have an architectural overview, but they provide you things like an LSP, so you can do swaps. They plan to do things with fiat currency, so maybe they'll even provide some on ramps and off ramps.
So cool, man.
Yeah, they plan to be like a full suite deal.
So cool. This is what I love. I'm a visual guy. I need to write in order to learn. Like, I love that he's doing this. He's putting it out there, letting everybody kind of look at it and understand it. And then you're able to interpret that data, Keyan. I appreciate it.
Heck yeah. Pretty cool,
man. This is cool. It's a really good post.
Yeah.
What did the Snacker say about it?
It's
very inspiring. Wow.
Yeah.
We'll keep this. Yeah. So they're saying the same thing we're saying. Looks very that looks cool. Really cool stuff, man.
Yeah, I think Greenlight is awesome, and it's really cool that Breeze is providing like a straightforward, a service layer on top of it to make it easy.
The more options, the better, right?
Yeah.
The more options, the better. This is another option for the devs. Cool. The next top story is anonymity. Make a persona, not a mystery. Derek Sivers, great for Bitcoiners. This is 730 sats, 5 comments. Leaf Ophianist posted this.
Yeah, cool. Are you familiar with Derek Sivers?
No.
Do you remember CD Baby?
The platform?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Derek Sivers is the founder of CD Baby.
What?
Yeah.
Pay me my money. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I encountered Derek Sivers, I think, on like a
Is he on Stacker?
No, he's not. This wasn't him that posted it, but he wrote this blog post about anonymity, so it's kind of relevant for Bitcoiners. But he started CD Baby. I heard him on a Tim Ferriss podcast like years ago, and I read the first book that he wrote, and I really loved it. He's very good. He's very succinct. He like gets to the point very fast and does it in a way where you are like compelled to engage with it and read it. And anyway, very good books. He has like 4 of them now. I've only read one.
No idea he was the guy that did CD Baby.
Yeah.
I could rip up that project really fast, but we're not. Let's go into the story.
I mean, it was like 30 years ago or something. Whenever that
it was needed at the time.
Yeah. I mean, I think he sold it for like $1 million.
Oh, so he ended up selling it. Oh, okay.
I think
that's
so.
why
Or he turned it into like a profitable business. I forget exactly what happened.
No, it was very profitable. I think the problem I always had with it is like the payments. I mean, it's the reason why WavLake exists, right? Like WavLake is the next CD Baby. It's just like that was the problem, but it's being solved right now. But the interface was terrible on it.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, he basically writes this encouraging you to create a persona rather than like a NIM that is obvious to everyone that you're being anonymous. Basically remove a person's impulse to figure out who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than, being, let's say, super Signet, you become John Malkovich. Maybe you don't want to choose an actor's name, but you become John Greenfield or whatever, and that's your name. And he basically argues you get an AI image generator to generate you an image. You choose a place that you want to say you're from, and basically you basically build out an entire persona that handles most of the questions that someone might ask you, is trying to figure out who you are.
And then you hire somebody from India to do it from 9 to 5. Is that what you're saying?
No, he's not saying anything that complicated. He's just saying if you want to be anonymous, just make a full persona, and don't make it obvious that you're hiding your identity, because it's going to lead people to be curious and try to solve a mystery. That's what he's saying. Have you ever thought about this?
No, that's like really pathological. Like,
you really think so?
As far as, yeah, dude, like who thinks in that many steps? Especially about like trying to fool people.
Oh no, if you want to be anonymous though.
What do you call that? We know is people that pathological?
What is that? It's not pathological. I don't think pathological means, I think that it's like it's harmful in a continued way.
Oh, okay. I guess it's, as long as don't do it for harm, stackers.
No, he's not arguing for harm. He's saying for someone, we know lots of people who operate under NIMS and don't want people knowing their name, right?
Yeah.
And their identity.
Yeah.
Especially
That's my next top story.
Especially online.
Yeah.
So I think this makes perfect sense. Have you never I've thought of doing this? Like contributing to Bitcoin Core under a totally contrived persona.
Are you a Bitcoin Core developer?
I might be. You don't know.
This whole time. No, have you ever seen, this is totally off topic, but it's somewhat relevant. There was a guy who went on a game show, and it was like, he was a part of the game show, but the whole show was to just follow the guy. Like, it was just a show, like the whole story was like, it was like a real world reality type of show where he was a schmuck. Like, he was the one that he didn't realize that everybody around him were actors, and that they had the different identities from who they really were. But it was all an act, and he was the only one in this like Truman
show.
Yeah. But it was a television show where you were competing in a game.
I think many people have seen Truman Show, right?
Yeah, so it's not Truman Show. This was like an actual real life thing, like actually happened in real life, where they actually did a whole game. Imagine you're watching Survivor.
Yeah.
And you're in Survivor, and everybody around you is actors, and the whole show is about you competing in the Survivor thing, and you think that you're winning these tournaments, but you're not. It's just like
the whole thing is scripted, more or less.
Yes.
Except your part. Yeah. So
what I'm trying to say is, like, dude, gosh, I don't know, how do you keep that going? Like how would you keep a persona and
Satoshi did it, right? I mean, that's kind of the idea. You're just trying to protect your real life. That's from something like a lawsuit from CSW.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Like that's the motivation for doing something like this.
It's just sad to see that it's resorted to that. I guess that's the world we're in.
That is the world we live in.
All right, this is going to be a spicy topic, so here we go. Next top story is Nostr sucks. A contrarian viewpoint for 840 sats, 48 comments. Wow, from Janet Yellen.
Wow,
Janet Yellen is just like she's going crazy.
I had no idea Janet Yellen was on Sacker News, or that she was into Nostr, or that she knew so much about programming and security.
Dude, Janet Yellen she's the real deal, dude. People thought she was just a Treasury secretary. Nope.
Turns out she
knows
is
about
a programmer.
Everything.
Yeah,
she knows about everything, dude.
She does.
So what did Janet Yellen say about this?
Janet Yellen just wanted to get a discussion started on some of the downsides of Nostr generally. And so one of the things that she points out is, or she lists like three things: the incentives, the security, and scale. And kind of, just wants to get a discussion going about maybe how Nostr can't solve these problems. And, a pretty significant discussion ensues. There's lots of stuff in here about various kind of responses to the concerns. My understanding is Janet Yellen isn't necessarily interested in seeing Nostr fail, but wants to try to get it to succeed by asking some hard questions. And so a lot of us kind of chime in and give our feedback on some of these problems.
There was a discourse in here. It looks like Peter Todd's commenting. You got Melvin Carvalho. He's a Nostr dev. You got Magic as well too.
Magic, who runs Hive 1, very Nostr bull.
So it looks like there's some really good discussions. What do you make of this?
I don't know. I mean, it depends on, like, I'm mostly, what does it mean that Nostr sucks? When you're looking to have a really good debate, you kind of need everything defined. Like, what does suck mean? And what does decentralized mean? What does scale mean? And then from there, you can kind of begin to hash out whether Nostr indeed sucks or just doesn't meet.
There's our in-house Nostr bear.
Yeah,
he's watching it live.
Whether it actually sucks, whether it actually can't be decentralized, so you can begin to actually, poke at those issues if you actually know what people mean, so they aren't changing the definition of all the words as you go.
Yeah.
But that's my main thing. But I think Nostr, it doesn't have a single point of failure. You can distribute to a number of relays all your messages, and that's already significantly better than what Twitter can offer you. Additionally, it does provide quite a bit of core utility that Twitter provides. Like, I'm able to see on Damus, I'm able to see a variety of people's posts that I want to see, who I'd otherwise normally see on Twitter. I have quite a familiar experience there. So I think I don't know if it scales globally.
It's good. It's good. I'll say that it's great to see a post like this, right? You have this one side of Janet Yellen talking about how Nostr sucks, all this other stuff. Then you have like Max Webster's like side where it's like really, it's the opposite of this, right? It's like the complete opposite. Then there's somewhere in the middle, right?
Yep.
And then you have people who actually like Nostr, like me, that just like it.
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, I do care about the things that you guys are talking about in these two posts, but at the end of the day, for me as a pleb, I like using it.
Yeah.
So, like, for me, when I see this kind of stuff, okay, cool, looks good. I'm going to keep using Nostr.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know. Like,
yeah, I don't think Janet Yellen would disagree with you, and I don't think Max Webster would disagree with you either. If you're enjoying using it, you should use it. That shows some level of success to me personally.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like the people, like the things that you're trying to replace, I think sometimes become, there's just this high ideal that you're trying to reach for. I don't know for what reason. I mean, I guess for the reason of like self-sovereignty and all those things that we fundamentally believe as Bitcoiners, but like if we can't work through trying to get there, then like, do we not start?
Yeah. I mean, it depends on, so there's some people who don't believe in Nostr who are perhaps very bullish on something like Web 5. And like I know quite a few people. The people who I know are the most bearish on Nostr are like Web 5 is where it's at, and that's what's going to solve the problem. And so they see Nostr as like a distraction from a real solution, which is Web 5, or has addressed more of the problems that they anticipate Nostr will have. And so I don't think they're against attempts. But it does seem like a lot like they are against attempts. It does seem like naysaying quite a bit. But if you talk to them, they actually aren't. They don't see it that way. They're just mostly criticizing it.
Do you want to come here and talk about it? Let me see if you want. He doesn't want. Of course he doesn't. No, just pointing out one of our in-house devs is not a Nostr fan.
One of the reasons that a lot of people are very bullish on Nostr is how much is getting built on Nostr kind of fast. Like that's a pretty good indication to them, that's a pretty good indication that there will be a lot of significant things happening. Like the rate of change on Nostr is extremely fast.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks fast. It's like everything moves fast at Bitcoin, but it moves way faster on Nostr.
Yeah. Yeah. They have so many people contributing to Nostr projects that it's just going to be that the anticipated result is something pretty significant.
I agree.
Yeah. And that's most of that's like the bull's perspective. So
the bear's perspective is it's all for nothing. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm gathering.
Or yeah,
because there's one comment in here. Somebody said it. probably, I guess this is probably the bearish case scenario, right? Somebody said, I think Nostr is just this generation doing what the previous generation did without any awareness of the history that followed, which peer-to-peer systems with the inception in 2000, 2010 periods survived. BitTorrent, Bitcoin, Skype, Netula. And then he goes on to explain more, but my first instinct is that who will run relays? And then watching the spam fest. I don't know. That's your bear. You got your bull.
I think it's too hard to tell. I think
Still early.
I think the right position to be right now is somewhere in the middle and be skeptical that Nostr will do all the things that, the bulls say it will do, like change the world and end world hunger or whatever. It's not there's going to be a limit to what it can achieve. But regardless, people are really excited about it and building, things that are at least fun to use. So
I think this is going to be the first argument we're going to have, right? And then the next argument will be, I imagine here in the next couple months, will probably be like, oh man, the poo-poo coins have entered and now they're connected to Nostr and now it's like become its whole, now it's just whatever. It's not about Bitcoin anymore. And be like, and then I'm going to be like, well, you should have been supporting the Bitcoin movement when it was doing it on there. I suspect that's probably going to happen here fairly soon.
It's not a bad point. I think another thing that might come up is centralization. There's quite a bit of relay concentration already. There's it's basically like a power law distribution, and there's roughly, I think, 5 relays that are the most popular right now. And so is that going to get worse? Maybe. And then, Nostr starts looking a little more like an oligopoly, which is arguably much better than Twitter, but maybe not much better than something like Mastodon, and at least in terms of like the governance of it.
I still will go back to this point, and I think this point is probably the most important point that I'm going to make today, is that Damus, which is ran by William, is a big Bitcoin bull.
Heck yeah.
And he's the number one app when people are downloading Nostr. And for me, that's all I need. He's like, Damus is literally becoming the AOL of like this generation really fast. So the fact that he's getting everybody signed up to Lightning, that's all I need. Is that Nostr is doing everything it's supposed to be doing, because he's minting more Lightning devs. He's minting more Bitcoiners. Like he's doing everything he's supposed to be doing. As a true believer in Bitcoin, and this is why Bitcoin will win. End rant.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
I think it's a good.
Bullish. That's why I'm bullish on Nostr.
Yeah, I'm bullish on it. I mean, I'm optimistic about it. Generally, I wouldn't. I think it can really do some interesting things, especially if people continue to build on it. So.
Oh, also like. Plub Lab, we just got our own Nostr little feed over there, so.
Oh, that's right. You guys have a Nostr account now.
Yeah.
You guys should.
We're on Stacker News too.
That's right.
At Plub Lab. Be on the lookout. Their next
story is your top story.
My top story. My top story is Starting Fresh. This is by Tony Giorgio. 9 comments, 5,000 boosts, 1,900 sats. He did if you want to pull up the
article?
Yeah, the article. But he did
look at that attractive man.
He's had I guess I won't dox his previous website, but he used to have this website that he put a lot of content on, like every so often, and it was like really good content. And I would always look forward to reading about it. Then he jumped off of Twitter. And now it's just I don't think he's on Nostr either. But no, he comes in and around everywhere, right? But he wrote this post on February 4th where he was talking about starting fresh, and he wanted to talk about like his moving, his new job, his new identity, and restarting. And I thought it was a very like touching post. I think for me, like knowing him, calling him a friend and somebody I can count on, like it's really cool to see people grow and like people start like wipe themselves from like everything that they thought and like reinventing what they want to be. And it was a really good post to read on Sunday when I read it. It was just like really touching. So I wanted to bring it to the Stackers because I think the Stackers would enjoy reading it.
Yeah, I think it's a really great subject to bring up. I think there are a lot of people who never go through a fresh start. I don't know if you've I remember when I was growing up in high school, I knew a girl who never wanted to move out of the little town I was living in. And it had the population was 30,000 people. She didn't want a fresh start ever. She just wanted to stay the same. And I think you're robbing yourself of like on some kind of figuring out who you are, and maybe in certain experiences too. Maybe there's some benefit to that. I don't know, but I think it's worth starting fresh a couple times, at least traveling and getting something like that experience.
I watched Benjamin Button over the weekend, and then I read this post, and then there's a great. Do you know Benjamin Button? I forget which book it was.
It was a movie, right, with Brad Pitt.
But in the movie, he goes, "For what it's worth, it's never too late, in my case, or too early to be whoever you want to be. There's no time limit. Stop whenever you want. You can change or stay the same. There are no rules to this thing. You can make the best or the worst of it. I hope you make the best of it." He goes, "I hope you have the strength to start all over again." And like when I read his post, I was like, wow, it reminds me of that. Anyways, good job, Tony.
I've never seen Benjamin Button. It's like really long, isn't it? It's like 3 hours.
It's basically long. Yeah, it's really long, but it's such a great movie, dude. It's like this generation's Forrest Gump.
Really? You think so?
Yeah.
Oh, I never watched it because it was just so long, and I was like,
it's like this generation's Forrest Gump.
Oh, now that you say that, I gotta watch it.
Yeah, you gotta watch it. It's really good. Plus, he's just a good person. Like Benjamin Button's like such a good person. Okay. Plus, there's a guy who gets struck by lightning like 7 times. Okay. And like throughout the movie, he like pops in. He's like, "Did you know I got struck by lightning 7 times? Well, one time I was just walking my dog, struck by lightning." And there's another time where he's just like walking by. Like, "Did you know I got struck by lightning 7 times?"
So every time he talks about it,
yeah, it just randomly comes. But he's just like,
okay. So generally, it's like a magical movie. Like lots of silly kind of coincidences and stuff happen. In addition to the Benjamin Button thing, obviously,
it just shows you how like kind of what Tony described. It just shows you how like life is whatever you want to make it, because there's no rules to the thing. You know, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, what's your top story?
My top story, I was going to pick Tony's top story too.
What?
Yeah,
really?
So I thought, I thought we'd just cover that one. Once you sent me that was your top story, I was like, oh, we don't need another one.
Okay.
So that was that. So we'll get into super stat segment. Let's see, who stacked the most? Oh, this is day right now. Let's see for the week. It looks like Nim stacked a bunch. I don't know what they ended up doing, but
Ben the Carmen?
77 comments for the week. Oh, they got 2 referrals. I might have done it. Ben the Carmen stacking them up.
Well, he has a cowboy hat.
He does have a cowboy hat. Appears to be he just got it. Mine is 10 days. I have a 10 day.
Oh, so if you hover over it, it'll tell you how many days?
How long they've owned this cowboy hat.
Has Texas Slim reached out to you and told you to...
Oh, it's a copyright infringement? I'm kidding. I know. Ed Block, we got Darth Coin in the top, Cointastical, Crypto Coin, Ninja Grandma coming in.
Wow.
2-minute Bitcoin, Siggy 47.
Siggy.
A lot of folks spent this week. Wow, lots of people beat me this week. Earl.
Bitgold?
Bitgold works a lot on PayJoin stuff. He's very into privacy. I saw him for the first time in Bitcoin Miami at PlebFi. He did like a presentation on a wallet he was building. I forget what it's called. It's called like Chaincase, I believe is what it's called.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of big spenders. I can't believe I got beat this week. It's very rare.
Blockchain Boog
in the house. Downtown JJ. Lab Rat as well. We can see the cow. I put in top now that you can see the cowboys with who've had their hats the longest.
Yeah,
it's like me, Darth Coin, Crypto Coin, Earn Bitcoin.
Crypto Coin just always kills it, dude.
I know.
Every time I go try to do a post, Crypto Coin's already got it. I'm just like, what's the point?
Yeah. Siggy 47. Let's see it looks like Peter Todd has 9 days, but everyone else has 10.
Yeah, it's great to see Peter Todd on Sacred News all the time, man. That's so cool, dude. Just being able to talk to him.
Yeah, he's really chill too.
Yeah,
I thought.
I've met him a couple times at BitDevs here in Austin.
Oh, yeah, I've seen him around, but I don't really talk to people in person. So
yeah, he's a great guy.
Or ever really.
All right, we got our boost here. Unless do you have anything else you want to?
No, we can skip stats this week.
Okay. We got the boost here. This is from Blockchain Boo. He goes, "I am Texas Slim!" ! I love my cowboy hat.
Wow.
Can you believe it?
I didn't realize Blockchain Boo this whole time was Texas Slim. I didn't think he was that into like Bitcoin tech stuff.
Is he really?
He says it right there, Kari. You're not going to believe him?
No, there's no way. All right. Next time I see Slim, I'm going to ask him. We got Vake. He also said nice. That's all he said. And then, we had a question. What was the question? I think it was this one. No, that was it.
All right.
Yeah. All right, cool. So we got 2 boosts. Man, boosts are cranking up. What are you going to do this weekend, Keyan?
What am I doing this weekend?
What are you doing for Valentine's Day?
Oh, man, that's right. It's Valentine's Day.
Man, get on it, bro.
I'm thinking I'm not going to do anything on the day of. I'll do it the day after or before, just to avoid, like busy restaurant reservations, that kind of thing. We've already had this discussion, so that's what I'll probably do. This weekend, I'm trying to look for a new place to live. I'm trying to look for a new...
This week?
This weekend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't need to happen this weekend, but we've been doing what we call homework, where we have a spreadsheet where there's all the homes in the neighborhood that are available.
You're still going to stay on that side?
I love that side.
Gosh. Come south, bro. That's all I'm saying. Just a little bit south.
A little bit south.
A little bit south.
Maybe someday.
Okay. All right, Stackers. We'll see you next time on Stacker News Live.
Zap.